there is only one business model right now that I think is actually worth starting. Now, the only reason I'm saying this is because I literally tried everything. I tried drop shipping, I tried crypto, I tried stock trading, I tried Amazon FBA, I tried everything under the sun. And this one thing, this one business model that I did actually ended up working. And if you're watching this right now, you've probably tried drop shipping, you've probably realized that it takes up a ton of different skills. Like you've probably created a store, maybe you bought like a course on like how to do it, and you realize you had no idea how to actually advertise and market these products or services. And you also need a lot of capital to compete with the big dogs. So obviously that's not worth starting. If you're watching this right now, you've probably experienced that. I definitely have. And then with stock trading, pretty much just gambling, and you do also need a lot of capital. Otherwise, the people that have a lot of capital are just going to trade safely, and you with like your little $500 or $1,000 or $5,000, you have to go for big plays to make anything significant, and that is how you lose your money because it's pretty much gambling. And it goes the same with crypto as well, right? It's pretty much gambling. And Amazon FBA, like you literally have to have so much capital to actually make it work because Amazon takes up a ton of the profit margins. You have to buy a ton of inventory up front just to actually store in Amazon to get your products listed. And if you do have a winning product, Amazon will just list it themselves and they'll just put it on for cheaper so that people will just buy from them with faster shipping times. So all of these business models are so difficult for beginners. If you're watching this, you're probably a beginner. You've probably made maybe a couple dollars online, but never enough to truly make great money. And this is where I was almost 2 years ago, right before I found remote closing, remote high ticket sales. And since then, I've scaled to well over $20,000 a month. I've been traveling the world over the past year and a half. And I'm also right now living full-time in Thailand, as you can see the background behind me. I don't know if you guys can see the ocean, but I'm living my dream life now, all because I got into a actual business model that's legit. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme, and it actually requires only one skill compared to a ton, and there's really no costs to get started unless you were to get into like some sort of sales training to learn much faster. But overall, it costs nothing to start, and you're just pretty much doing a service slash job for online companies that are already making a ton of money. So with high ticket sales, I do think it is the only business model that's actually worth starting in 2025, going into 2025 and right now because of how simple it is, right? If you have a ton of experience in business, obviously there's businesses that you could start, but for beginners right now, if you're just working a 9 to 5, you're working 40 to 60 hours a week, you're probably still young, maybe you're 18, 19, or in your early 20s, and you have massive goals, but you just don't know how to get into the right vehicle that's actually going to allow you to reach those goals, right? The dead-end job is never going to allow you to reach your goals, and college probably isn't the best fit for you either, because even if you do get a good degree, you're never actually going to achieve freedom that you want, and you're still going to be stuck on like a measly $60,000 to $80,000 a year at best, right? So remote high ticket sales actually kind of just solves all those problems because you're learning a valuable skill and you're getting paid based on performance with that skill, right? And I know what you're thinking, maybe, oh, what if I don't perform? Well, that's actually the beautiful part, because if you do perform, and once you learn the skill, which it's pretty hard not to perform if you just have a good work ethic, essentially you get paid the better you get at the skill, right? So the better you get at sales, the more money you're going to make. Unlike with a dead-end job, a 9 to 5 job, or going to college, like when you do get a job and you do get really good at the job, you don't even get paid for getting better. Maybe you get a tiny little incremental raise every single 6 months or a year, but it's not even enough to keep up with inflation. It's a joke, right? So it's never going to actually allow you to achieve your goals. But if you start getting paid via the value that you bring to the table and your skills, and you kind of uncorrelate it with the time that you're putting in, then you can actually scale your income without having to work more hours, right? And that is the beautiful part about remote sales. When I scaled to $20,000 a month, just closing for a couple big YouTubers, I was literally just taking like 4 to 6 calls per day, right? And in the beginning, I was working the same amount. So I was working 5-6 hours a day in the beginning as an appointment setter, and I was making $6,000 to $8,000 a month pretty consistently, right? Working 5-6 hours a day. But as I got better, I was still working 5 to 6 hours a day, but I was making $20,000 a month, doing the exact same thing, only because I got better at the foundational skill of sales, right? And when you master sales, you can pretty much master your entire life. You get better at communication, you get better at building relationships, you get better at networking, and your whole life starts to improve. And it's not just about getting to your first $10,000 a month, even though if you're watching this, that probably is a big goal for you to get to your first $10,000 a month. It's more of the long-term potential that getting into sales will open up for you. Because once you understand how to sell, you understand how to communicate, how to network, and how to open up doors for yourself, you're going to see so many more opportunities, especially online and traveling the whole world, meeting fantastic people, to where you can scale that up much higher from $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month, and you can actually start to build businesses on your own rather than just working inside of a business once you have those skills. But the problem that you're facing right now, to go full circle, is you're trying to pretty much learn all the skills needed to build a successful business from scratch, rather than learning the skills one at a time and being more patient, getting to your first $10,000 a month, and then $15,000, and then $20,000, and then maybe starting a business. But right now you're trying to go from zero to $100,000 a month or $1 million a year from scratch, and it's just not going to work. You need to start off with foundational skills, learn how to sell, learn how to communicate, make great money, travel the world, enjoy your 20s, and build a skill that's going to keep rewarding you down the line as you get into your 30s, 40s, and eventually get to the point where you truly build generational wealth because you started learning sales at such a young age. Now, if you go to any billionaire, any multimillionaire as well, and you ask them for advice, you can look up videos about this. There's so many videos of people going out there and asking billionaires what advice they would give to their younger self. And almost every single time they always say, I would tell myself to learn how to sell. And the reason they say that is because of everything I just told you. Because they can make more money, they can decide their income, they can learn the foundational skills of all business, they can see how these businesses run, and then as soon as they have the skill they need to be successful with their own business, then they go and just start their own business and start making way more. And the beautiful part about 2024 is that you can literally just do all this online. So you don't have to do like a door-to-door sales job. You don't have to do a corporate sales job, because honestly, I never wanted to do that either. But with remote sales, you're still learning the most valuable skill, but you can live anywhere in the world and have the freedom that you crave as a young man. And from there, you can learn the skills and get better. And even just hitting $5,000 a month. I mean, if you're making that much on your own terms, working 5-6 hours a day, living in Thailand or living in South America or somewhere where it's much cheaper, you're going to feel like a millionaire if you're in your 20s. So that's what I would encourage you guys to do. And if you do want to learn more in depth of really how remote sales works, like the step-by-step, how to get in with companies, how to actually learn the skill of sales, and why this is truly the best step-by-step way to hit your first $10,000 a month, I actually made a video on it. So watch that video right here. It breaks it down step-by-step of how you can pretty much get into this, even if you have no experience, even if you don't even think you're that good at communication, and even if you don't feel that confident right now. I promise you will if you watch this video. So it's going to be right here and link in the description. Watch this video and I'll see you on that video. Peace.